Good evening, everyone. It's your girl Menina with Legacy Book Bar Sip and Chat. Tonight is a special edition of the Sip and Chat because I have three fabulous and talented women here with me tonight. Tonight's special edition is we are celebrating National Women in Business Week. So I decided to bring three women here tonight that are doing some amazing and positive things in and around Baltimore. Of course, these three women are complete and absolute mentors to me over these last 30. I'm not going to tell my age, but they have been pivotal to me in the course of my life. So I want you to help me welcome. I have Kia Crowder, I have Knicole Mosby Taylor, and I have Terri Butler. Hello, ladies.
Hi. How are you?
Hello. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I want to say this is episode 9 of the Sip and Chat. So thank you for being a part of it. I know I have probably talked your ears off in the course of starting Legacy Book Bar. So thank you so much for giving me a sounding board for everything. I appreciate it so much. How has your weeks been? Because I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in like forever.
Long week.
Long week. Thank God it's Friday. And
yes.
Thanks for the sip and chat because I needed it. And the chat.
Look, but I want to know, what does Friday got to do with it? Because I'm going to still be working this weekend.
Listen, bro. Just have you sit beside you, you'll be fine.
Absolutely. Oh my gracious. I work 4 days a week, and 3 of those days are 11-hour days. And that's like, it's not enough hours in the day, but I know talking with each of you, we all have the same mantra where 9 to 5 is your job, but your 6 to 11 builds your empire. And all of us at this table are in some form or fashion building our own empires. So we are exactly where we need to be. Maybe a little tired, but we are here today. So tonight, I know people that typically watch the podcast normally see authors on the podcast. And tonight, a little different tonight. So tonight, I'm going to have you ladies tell the world what it is your business does. And hopefully it will attract the right attention and get the word out on what it is that each of us do. So, of course, everyone knows that Legacy Book Bar is an online bookstore. It caters to self-published Black authors. The characters are Black because it is a need for us. A lot of us cannot get into mainstream bookstores, unfortunately, and we are so talented. So I decided, me being an avid reader, take your hobby, take your passion, and turn it into your empire. So now here we are. Fast forward a year in the business, and we have Legacy Book Bar. Each of you have your own empires. So tonight I'm going to have Kia start, and she tells us what her empire is.
Oh my goodness. First, good evening, ladies. Good evening. Thank you so much for having us. Come on. I don't know how I feel about empire. I don't know what I would call it, but I don't know how I feel about empire. But I guess ultimately that's what it is. As you know, I spent over 26 years in the restaurant industry, and that was what I thought was my passion. That's what I loved. And, you know, we go after what we love. And so I spent a lot of time there. And I don't know, somewhere in life, I figured, you know what? Are you going to do this forever, or are you going to chase something that really fuels you, right? And so that's kind of where this kind of starts off. So the movement team, the co-founder, my partner at Trace, and I started doing mentoring programs in 2014. And at the time, I was the area director for Applebee's in Maryland, and he's the owner operator for a trucking. And we would go into these schools free of charge and just kind of hang out with students. And I had a group of girls, my generation girls, and we had a group of boys, future leaders. And with them, we just started something that now has blown to be something amazing throughout Baltimore City. We have mentoring programs in Baltimore City Public Schools. We have other organizations with capacity building. We do tons of community work. We are community builders, is what we like to call ourselves. We are not just catering to the schools. We are in homes, living in community. We are helping to build families. We are just taking a wellness approach to working with families and community, trying to restore. So that's the biggest thing for us. And my newest venture, and Legacy BookBar is the first to hear this, just so you know. This is not public to anyone except for a few people who know us. And it is not on any social network. It is not on anything. So you're the first to get this, that we are officially the Movement Team Health Services, and we've started a behavioral health business. So our new office will be located at 911 South Charles Street in Baltimore. And you guys are the first to know that, first to hear that. So we are super.
Yay! Congratulations!
So we have our accreditation through CARF, and we are legit, honey, and ready to rock. So that's who we are.
Well, that is truly, truly amazing. So what that is, I hope everyone got all of that. Again, we'll have more information on social media, what exactly the movement team does. And I know Kia will then post and share when she's ready more information on the sneak peek. You've always been one to kind of take the kids under your wing and kind of guide them in the right direction. I mean, you did that to me when I was 19?
I think I was a bad influence on you for a little while. Just a little bit. No, that has always been near and dear to me. I'm an inner city kid. I grew up in inner city Baltimore. Growing up in inner city Baltimore, you see a lot of things. You are faced with a lot of sometimes people think that just because where they started and this is where they are, this is where their life leads. And a part of the story and why I relate to young people, and young people tend to relate to me so well, is because I understand who they are and where they came from. I can relate to that. So growing up in East Baltimore, and with a single parent household, having a sister who and then, we adopted my brother was adopted, and my mom who worked nights. People tend to have stigma around who you become. And so my story speaks to who you can become. I was one of the youngest people in my field, being Black, a female, and becoming senior management in companies was unheard of. A male dominated industry, being a woman, and then being able to take off and move in the direction that I did, going from, being management to running my own stores to, you just name it when it comes to that industry. It was a lot. And so being able to take young people, I didn't want to just take young people in and hire them and give them a job. I wanted them to, learn from where they were and understand that even if you were a cook, you could be that manager, making a $75,000 a year salary. I understand what that looked like. At 25 years old, I was back then. I'm not gonna tell you how old I am. Oh my gosh! But when I was 25 years old, and you make $40,000 a year at 25 years old, and you own a house at 23 years old, that's an accomplishment. That's my story. I was able to move in a way that helped young people, and speak in a way and tell them my story to help them see a different way and a better way where they could be. I was also that person who struggle with some of the challenges that they struggle with, teenage pregnancies and things like that. So, having a story, knowing where you are, where you're going, and what you want to achieve, that was a part of the battle of becoming a mentor and becoming a successful mentor. Right now we have programs in 12, 13, 14, 17 schools in Baltimore City, and during school and after school programs. And with that being said, we get a chance to work with these young people and show them something different. So I don't want to just, work with them. I want to teach them. I want to be able to show them. I want to do experience. I want to be able to expose them to things they haven't been able to see. When you have that middle class household that you come from, there were a lot of things that because you were middle class, you weren't privy to. And middle class didn't mean you had money. Middle class just meant that you were doing okay, but you still weren't privy to that free summer camp that some were privy to. You still weren't privy to all of those things. So how do we now give this back and help us, in some ways, I guess, restore some of the pieces that make us as a culture, great.
Tell us, what is a typical day like for the movement team?
Let's see, pre-COVID or post-COVID or during COVID, which one?
Well,
COVID has changed
no,
a lot.
I feel like everyone has that. Pre-COVID, they were doing one way, and now after COVID, is completely changed. So, what are some of the design programs you have now that we are in the middle of COVID? Because we're going to be here another year and a half, 2 years. So,
I will tell you that virtual world is everything right now. Our children, our kids still need a lot. Just because they're not in the buildings don't mean that they need things. We just came off an initiative where we were able to support over 600 students in Baltimore City with school supplies, laptop desks, supplies to go in them, books, folders, you name it, beanbag chairs, all those things, helping to create a workspace station within their homes. A lot of our homes don't allow for our students to have a comfortable workspace, so we've helped provide that. So during COVID, our virtual programming, we're doing culinary classes through Child First Authority, where we're packaging and making kits for these kids to go and cook with us virtually. They're having sessions a few times a week. We start our during school programs right now on the 26th on Monday. And so I have 10 programs that are 10 classes that will be color classes. We're doing physical fitness with the kids. A lot of the programming or a lot of the school time activities do not include gym and things like that right now. So these kids are used to their sports programs. They're used to being able to just go out and play in a different way than they are right now. So how do we keep them fit? How do we keep them active? How do we keep them moving? So we're offering physical fitness. I have trainers from all over Baltimore City who have signed on now to participate in physical fitness and help these kids. I mean, these are directors of Planet Fitness and all kinds of places who are now running child programs to help these kids stay fit. So you name it, we're doing parent engagement stuff like chat, like the snack and paints. We're taking these kits to the home so the parents can participate. So when I say this weekend, to your point, we are working this weekend. I have 210 kits to put together just to start the programming for next week for kids. So, from graphic arts and designs to modeling programs to, let's see, photography, cinematography, we have these programs for kids so that way they can stay connected. Virtually, we are limited, but physical fitness and culinary, we are moving with those two.
I think that is amazing. We have comments viewership is going up. We have comments in the chat. Joy Ford. Hey, Joy, my EWBI sister, for tuning in. She said hello to everyone. All of you know my mama. She watches every week. You know she's here. She said, congratulations, Kia. You go, girl. You know you will always have a place with my mom.
Hey, Miss Karen, how are you?
She also said that was wonderful when she was talking about some of the programs that you have instituted in the midst of COVID. Joy has also said this sounds wonderful. My very wonderful president of EWBI, Miss Nakia Harvey, is here. Thanks, Nakia. And I have Mandy Richardson that just said, yes, the movement team is the best. Of course they are. Of course they are. Yes, and starting 2021, Kia, you and I should come up with some type of program that we can figure out how to get teen books to your kids.
I'm already working on it. We had that conversation 3 weeks ago.
I know, but we're gonna do it 2021.
21, it's in 20. I'm already working on it, so it's happening. We're getting ready to bring you virtually in to do some programming with our kids. I have Miss Mandy who's on there. Her school is one of the schools that I want to institute that program into. So she's the community school coordinator over at Calvin Broadway Elementary Middle School. So her school is one of the programs that I'd like to introduce you to. So no, we're moving. It's not going to take until 2021. That's months from now.
Let me tell you something. Y'all need to get you some girlfriends like this. If y'all don't have none, y'all are missing out. We need to get you some girlfriends like this. These right here are my chicks right here. Let me just tell you. So, Kia, I'm going to come back to you because I have some more questions for you. I'm going to come back. You sip, and I am now going to head over to Miss Terri Butler. So for those that don't know, so I met Kia. How old is Michaela? Okay, so I met Kia. Actually, so I used to work at Applebee's on Route 40, and Kia was my manager. I met Kia when I came back to work after maternity leave when I had Michaela. So for those that know, Michaela is 18 now. So I have known her 18 years. She has known me from waitressing, bartending. I think I wore so many hats at Applebee's that I never really had a slot. Like, it would be like the waitress schedule, the bartender schedule, the kitchen schedule. I never had a slot. It was just like, you come in this day, and wherever I tell you to go, that's just where you go. I never had a slot. When she did our schedule, it was great. But for those that have bartended parties for, you must thank Kia for the skills that I have had behind the bar. It's her fault. I do apologize. What can I say? So, Miss Terri Butler, I met when I transitioned out of working in restaurants and I went into healthcare field and I went more corporate. And then I met Terri Butler when I became a medical biller. So when she realized who I was and where I was working, she was like, no, let me tell you something. Let me show you how this is going to work. And her and I have been thick as thieves since, again, how old is Michaela? I'm going to say 2008.
Let's not tell our age. Let's just say a long time.
It's a very, very long time. Okay.
Long time.
We're going to welcome Terri to the broadcast. So, Terri, tell us about AAEW.
Well, first of all, I want to say, Kia, we have got to talk. And I'm going to say got, because right now that's how I'm feeling. When we have to talk, because I'm listening to your story and it's no different than so many women out here. And I applaud you for what you're doing. You know, so many people can take different, steps in their lives, and you're taking a positive step, not only for yourself, but to help other women. And I just applaud you for that. But we definitely have to talk. I, like Kia, grew up what they call middle class, which was not middle class. And, but my mother was she died from drugs. And so I went through a lot of years of watching my mother suffer with substance abuse. I, in turn, got into the substance abuse and mental health field, not as a counselor or anything, but just on an administrative level. And I've always drawn to people in substance abuse and mental health issues. And so I decided initially when I started AAW, it was supposed to be for women going through substance abuse, domestic violence, coming out of prison, so forth, and also networking for women in business, because I've always been business minded, an entrepreneur all my life since I was like 12 years old. I sold lemonade, frozen cups, I was a candy store. I sold candy in high school, all that kind of stuff. So I've always been an entrepreneur. And so I initially started the organization to start for entrepreneurs and women networking, and then also helping women who are struggling with the everyday life of just becoming a positive, role model to their kids and the community. And that's where I started going. So right now I have the networking program, which helps women who are business owners or entrepreneurs. And I do training to help them start their business from scratch and become successful. So I go from jump starting your business as much as finding your business name to your tax ID number to open a bank account, all the way to being on social media and scaling, marketing, sales, everything, you name it. Financial accounting. I teach classes for every entrepreneur to get those ways. And I also have, courses for those who are already in business but just need a refresher on some other things. I also have an Empowered Sisters program, which is for young girls 14 to 18. And they have to stay in the program for those 4 years, and we help them, and then they become sisters to the younger girls coming in. Then there's Sisters in work with me, because it's a lot. Sisters in Transition is for the women. And recently, because I am an ex-felon, and I am I'm not going to say proud to say that, but I will tell you that this has been a calling for me. And, sometimes things happen to you in your life, and you don't know or understand the direction that God is leading you to until you get there. And once you get there, it's a light bulb goes off in your head, and you're like, I am supposed to be here at this moment doing what I am doing. And since then, I have been on a crusade to help women coming out of prison. So since that has happened, I have started a LAP program, which is called Life After Prison. And this helps women to get on their feet, transition back into society so that they don't go back to prison. It's a whole nother life in prison. It's nothing what people think. It's nothing what people see on television. What I saw was a lot of hurt, abused, confused women whose lives were in just such a disarray, from some since the age of 5. And a lot of us, women, we're survivors. We do what we need to survive. And a lot of them did things to survive. It's just unfortunate that it led them into prison. And then some repeatedly just kept coming to prison. And it's a family there. And so some women don't have families. They don't have the support system. And go in there and you have 600 women who are your family. And you walk out of those doors and you have no one. You can imagine that the place that you prefer to be is where you have 600 family members opposed to one. 3 meals a day. You don't have to worry about bills. You don't have to worry about anything. And that's their mindset. So we're trying to get women, when they come out of those gates, that they don't feel alone, that they know that they have somewhere, some place that's going to guide them, help them get their children back, help them, with the substance abuse, help them get mental health with all those issues that were the cause of them coming to prison. Because regardless of what people think, there's always a reason, especially for women. Women no one wakes up and decides to be a criminal or, decides to commit a crime. Some things happen in people's lives, and that's just the path. That's just what happens. And my goal is to make sure when they come out that they don't go back. And so the LAB program is Life After Prison. And that is, we help them get their GEDs. We help them go to college. I have a contract with a college that's an online college for adults. And, we'll pay for it and help them go to school, get a degree. We have lawyers and on hand that will help them get their children back, get divorced, whatever it is that they need to do legally, cases expunged, and just get on the right track so they don't go back. And then since then, I have also created a program that is about prison reform, because it needs to be reformed. It needs not just for women, but for men. But I can't speak for the men because I'm not a man. I wasn't there. But for women, I can. And there's a big need for it, because once you walk in those doors, their job is to make sure you don't come back as well. And that's not what's happening. And I can go all day about that, but I'm not going to take up the whole show with talking about that. But that's what AAW is about. We are looking for women who have the same passion, the same purpose, who want to be a part of something great, who want to make a difference in other women's lives. I don't need haters. I don't want women who are not ready to uplift other women. If you're not ready to be a real sister to a woman, regardless if she's blood or not, then you're not part of the organization. And that's what we're looking for. And that's it in a nutshell. That's my whole life story in like 15, was that like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I could go.
I feel like you need an episode by yourself. That was a lot.
Listen, it's like I said, things happen in your life and you don't understand it until it happens. And when it happens, that's when you know this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is where your life was supposed to be going. This is what you were created for. And that was something that I found out. Every day I get at least 10 letters from women in prison I make connections with. And I mean, I could show you. I cleaned my desk off because I was trying to be neat. But I could show you letters. I did my best to respond to them all because, like I said, a lot of them don't have anyone. And just having somebody who is trying to help them or show them that they care really means a lot. And that might be the one thing that helps them decide that this is it. I don't want to come back here anymore. You know, I do want better for myself. And like I said, so many women, we hate on each other. You know, we don't support each other. We're not standing by each other. We're not being that mirror and saying, listen, you can do this. We're just sitting back waiting for each other to fall. And I don't want to be that woman, you know, so I'm going to make sure I make a difference. And this is the population that I chose to make a difference in. And so far, we're doing pretty good. And I want to continue to do that. So if anyone who's listening, if you're interested, you have a passion, please join me in this crusade. I tell you, you won't be disappointed. You'll lay your head at night knowing that you did something great and helpful, and it will just flutter your heart to no end. Just knowing that, you know, you can be blessed. You're blessed enough to bless someone else, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, well, that was great. Yes. So later on in the broadcast, I will post the ladies' individual websites and links for anyone that is looking to participate, because I'm pretty sure all of these ladies could use your resources, your help, anything to help them get their programs off the ground and to help, in Kia's case, the teens, in Terri's case, the women from prison. We're going to get to Knicole in a second. The viewership tonight, you ladies are amazing. The viewership is going up. Comments are going crazy. Terri, everyone is saying that was awesome. My EWBI women are tuned in tonight. Thank you so much. Joy and Nakia both said that was awesome. Joy would also like to connect with you, Terri, on your program. Joy, just hang out for throughout the broadcast. Like I said, I will post links for that at the end. Kier, your Ike said, powerful women in charge. He's here. Hey, Ike, that's my dude. Hey, brother, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. I must say that you ladies are always, you practice what you preach. You are not afraid to get your hands dirty. You are not afraid to ask for help. You are not afraid to give help. I'm pretty sure those that are watching are just in, or should be in awe of what you ladies are doing in and around Baltimore City. So I just want to say thank you, because I know what each of you have done for me. So I can imagine what the other ladies will feel and are feeling with the help that you are providing. So thank you so much. Joy also wants to, Liz, Joy would like to help with kids program too. Sorry, tried to read that. Maybe I need not sip so much, but Joy would also like to help with kids program. So next up, so if you've been paying attention, the ladies tonight are ladies that are important to me, that are doing amazing things in and around Baltimore. These ladies have been pivotal in my personal and professional growth. here on this wonderful planet. So I started with Kia because in the professional world, I have known her the longest. Then I started with Terri. And now, last but not least, is Knicole. Now, technically, Knicole would have gone first because I have known Knicole since probably AJ's age. And AJ is 6, so that should tell you something. But in professional world, her and I just connected over the last 3 years. So help me welcome Nicole Mosby Taylor, and she's going to talk to us about her 2 programs, Empowered Women in Business International and Empowering Minds of Maryland's Youth. Welcome, Nicole, to the Second Chat.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and this is going to be difficult to follow these 2 phenomenal women because you ladies are doing your thing, and I definitely would love to connect with each of you on different levels for different things. I'm a strong advocate of collaboration. So we'll talk about that at another time. So thank you again for Menina for having me today. Hey, buddy. He want to join. So I'm gonna start with my youngest baby. I mean, my oldest baby, rather. My oldest baby is Empowering Minds of Maryland's Youth. Empowering Minds of Maryland's Youth is a 501c3. We have been around since 2003, unofficially, and officially 2010. So I saw the need. I remember being a young girl in about 3rd grade with ponytails, these long ponytails, and my grandmother would make that tar hair grease, and she would put it on my hair, and the kids would tease me, and I was being bullied, and I didn't understand that really what was going on was they was just jealous because I had these long ponytails and they didn't have any hair. But after a while of being bullied, it weighed on me. It weighed on my self-confidence. And so I see that coming out in the work that I'm doing now, because with the work that I do, whether it's with young girls or whether it's with adults, I'm always trying to empower, always trying to build up that self-confidence, and to let them know that we have to look in that mirror and love what we see because it's beautiful. God don't make no junk, right? So and our God is amazing. So I started Empowering Minds of Maryland's Youth based off of a dream. God kept coming to me in a dream, and he said, look, I want you to start a mentoring group. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And I wouldn't start it. And weeks would go by, and he would come back to me in his dream like, I want you to start this mentoring group. And I'm like, me, I don't even like to speak in front of people. Like, really, what? Me start a mentoring group? So I reached out to a good friend of mine at the time, and I said, look, can you help me start this mentoring group? So I gave her everything from, we had the topics, and we would meet at each other's house, and we gathered some girls together, and the group was amazing. So the group was so amazing that a lot of our our mentors now come back to help us to work with our mentees now. And like I said, we've been doing it for so long. So some of our mentors now are married, but they have matriculated through our group. Some of them have graduated from college. They're just amazing women. We have a chemist, a Black cosmetic chemist. We have another young lady who makes different things, but she's on the verge of being a millionaire. We have so many phenomenal women who come back to help with the program, and I think that all the money in the world couldn't repay that, because then that means I gave them something that they want to come back and share with someone else. So that's just amazing. I'll share a story with you all. I remember starting a summer camp. And this summer camp, we had girls sign up from all over. And this one young lady came in, and she had her head down, and she was just not interested in being there at the program at all. So weeks go by, and I noticed she always had her head down. Even when she walked, she walked with her head down. So we did a project where they had to look in the mirror at themselves, and they had to document what they saw in that mirror. And she had trouble looking in that mirror. Well, after this 6-week camp, I had to keep sending for her out of the bathroom because she was in the mirror. So, look at God. I don't take the glory. God just gives me the stuff to do, and I'm just, I'm just obedient, and I do his work. And like, I'm getting chills just thinking about this young lady right now. So and I still keep in touch with her to this day. She's doing wonderful, just graduated from college. And she has an amazing story. But I say that to say that when I started my mentoring group, it was just gathering some girls together, but it became so much more, just to be able to pour into them and empower them. So at the time we were working with middle school girls, we have now since added elementary. So we actually have a mentoring group going on right now from elementary all the way to high. We do everything from STEM projects, character building, work on social and emotional um, projects with the young ladies. So there's nothing that we don't do. And right now we're doing it virtually. So we thought it was going to be a challenge, but it wasn't. It was amazing. We were able to get a caravan of cars together. We brought all of the materials that the girls would need. From even our cosmetic chemist is going to do a facial cream with them. And so she gave us the supplies to do the facial cream. We gathered all of those things together and created this nice little bundle of basket for the girls and took it to their houses in the caravan. We were pumping our horns, celebrating them, and they were so excited to start our mentoring group. So that was the beginning of our virtual mentoring group, because we know with COVID we got to do things a little untraditional. So but we've had the mentoring group, like I said, since 2003, and we're still going strong. We went into Baltimore City schools in 2006. And it's just been amazing. We also added our scholarship gala. We wanted to be a blessing to the young ladies who have been a blessing to us. So as I stated, they matriculate through the program and they come back and give back to the other young ladies. So we wanted to bless them with a scholarship. So we created the Orangeman Jones Collegiate Scholarship, so that could be a blessing to them. We also added a foster care. So this is our third annual foster care drive, suitcase drive rather. And I know a lot of people are like, what in the world is a suitcase drive? So a suitcase drive is typically foster care children have their items in a trash bag. And because we allow their things to be in a trash bag, we're allowing a message to go to those children. And we want to dispel that message that their items are not junk. We want to give them a brand new suitcase so they can take pride in their items. So they can go to those homes and they're already uncomfortable and unsure about what's to come because they're going to stay with a stranger. But just to have their things in a nice suitcase can make things just a little bit better for them. So this is our third annual suitcase drive. I'm pleased to announce that we have several different sponsorships. Steve and Marjorie Harvey Foundation. We also have Royal Comfort, Cater to Perfect, and Smooth Flicks Banquet Hall. So everybody has done a little bit to just make this thing amazing. It's a drop off. You don't even have to get out of your car. You just pull up. We take the suitcase. We load it into a truck. We take it to storage for 14 days for quarantine, and then we go to bless the foster care agency, the foster care children, with a brand new suitcase. So we're so excited about it. It's our third annual, and it's just been growing and growing. So it's November the 12th, Smooth Flicks Banquet Hall, which is 12 South Calvert Street, Baltimore, Maryland 21202. And if you need more information, feel free to reach out to 1-888-41-MINDS. That's 1-888-41-MINDS, or visit our website at www.empoweringyouthusa.net.
So for those that might not have had a pen or anything down when she was giving out the website or the phone number, my personal page as well as Legacy BookBar has posted the flyer. After this broadcast, that flyer and then the other ladies' information also will be posted on social media. So just stick around a little bit longer and come back in about maybe 30 minutes or so for the actual flyer. And then you guys will have that information and you can then save it to your phone. So you also have another organization that is near and dear to me because happen to be the vice president of the group. So let's talk about Empowered Women in Business International. And you must know, I did not forget the international part this time.
And you know, I have a new baby too that I want to talk about, which is the Trauma Advocacy Group. But I must, okay. So,
correct.
Empowered Women in Business International. So we serve a sisterhood of women entrepreneurs who understand that individually you could do great things, but collectively you can forever change the world. That we allow our members to experience a support system that allows them to celebrate their wins and share their struggles in a series of opportunities that enhance them personally and professionally. So our quote, individually you can do great things, but collectively we can forever change the world, is actually our motto, because we feel like if we come together, then there's nothing that we can't conquer together in a great way. So our sisterhood is so powerful because we rally behind each other, whether it's something dealing with business or something dealing personally. You know, we recently had some sisters experience a death in the family, and we really rally behind them to show them that we love them, because we understand that women wear so many different hats right now. And you know, whether it's personal or professional, those is plentiful. And you know what keeps us going is our sisterhood. You know, on those bad days we can reach out to our sisters and we get that extra encouragement, and on those good days they're there to celebrate with us, and we can be so excited, you know, for one another. So not only that, but we support each other. You know, if you have a business, then we support that business. So for example, because of COVID, one of our sisters was planning a scholarship breakfast. The scholarship breakfast had to be canceled, of course, because of COVID. And because of that, she was very worried about, where am I going to come up with these funds to get the scholarship? I still want to offer the scholarship, even though I'm not having a scholarship breakfast. So we had several sisters say, I've already paid for my vending table. I've already paid for my ticket. You keep that money and you add it towards that scholarship. That's a sister. Because other people be like, run me my money. So that is a sister that's going to say, we support you. We know what you're doing. You know, you keep your money. And actually, let's add to that, you know, and some people gave donations. So it's just an amazing experience. And from that, we decided, what else could we do? So we added a radio show. So we also have Empowered Women in Business International Radio Show. So I actually didn't even put this down here. EWBI radio show host Taylor K. That is so used to being there from my radio show that was already there. So I said, well, I change it. But for our radio show, we do everything. We have from politics to business tips to health tips, anything that's going to impact the women, which is everything, we have on our show. So make sure that you tune in. I'm so excited to announce that we're about to launch and go to a different radio station. And the flyer will be out shortly. But will be coming on in November on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So stay tuned to our Facebook page and you will see all of the information. And so did I miss anything about? Well, yes, I did. So EWBI, just a couple of things. We have a 5 point 5 pillars that we subscribe to. The first pillar is sisterhood, and I did speak to the sisterhood. The second is networking. So we offer a lot of networking events and opportunities for our sisters to network. We have one coming up called Thriving Business Thursday. Woo-hoo! And it's next Thursday. And Menina is leading that charge. So we're so excited to see what this virtual world of Thriving Business Thursday will look like. In the past, we've celebrated women who are not necessarily a part of EWBI, but women that are like yourselves, Terri and Kia, that are just phenomenal women doing great work in the community, because we know some news media have you to believe that, man, this world looks terrible, but I can promise you that it's 90% of good and 10% of that terrible that they show, and we want to show that 90%. So we invite different people on our radio show, and then we also honor them at our event to showcase and really highlight what's going on in Baltimore, Maryland, and internationally. So feel free to reach out. I would love to have each of you come on our show as well. And so I talked about networking, sisterhood. We have collaboration, so we're always open to collaborate with others. If I hear anything that somebody else is doing and I think they would be a good fit for one of my sisters, I let them know so that they can start that collaboration. I love collaborations. We also have education. So before our meetings, we also provide personal and professional education to every meeting. And we feel like it's so important to keep us educated on what's going on. We talk about trade names. We talked about marketing. Amanda did the marketing, right?
Amanda did it. Amanda is the director of social media for EWBI. With her personal business, she is has her own publishing company for books called Divine Legacy Publishing. But she also teaches social media marketing and branding, because in this day and age, social media is driving so much of the income to our businesses. So she came on for an hour before one of our meetings and just gave us some tips on how we can use social media for good with bringing positive traffic to our prospective businesses.
So that goes for our personal and professional education. And then we have community service and advocacy work. So with community service, we have partnered with Sarah's house, I think it was. No, Marion's house. I'm sorry, Marion's house. And we did vision boards with some of the ladies there. We've also what else have we done? We're in the process of collecting for battered women and women who have experienced human trafficking. So we are collecting all kinds of toiletries. If anybody would like to, to donate, please let us know. We are sending 100 to Jamaica. 50 will go one place in Jamaica. 50 will go the other place in Jamaica. I have so much going on. I can't think of each location, but it's 2 different locations in Jamaica, and then 50 will stay here in the United States to go to a shelter for battered women. So those are some of the things that EWBI is working on. And then my newest baby that I'm so excited about, the Trauma Advocacy Group. The Trauma Advocacy Group, we have, our motto is, if we are aware, we show that we care. And people just need a listening ear sometimes. Sometimes they need additional resources. Whatever it looks like, we are able to help them. So we have recently been working with the explosion victims of Labyrinth and the explosion victims of Virginia. And I can tell you all that even though it's been weeks since the explosions have happened, that trauma still lives with the victims. And not only does the trauma live with them, but they're reminded day after day because they still need things. We had one couple who was married on Saturday, and the house exploded on Sunday and lost everything. So the donations are still needed of like clothes, toiletries, and I'll share that on my page again. Um, but you know, like I said, my work may be somewhat different, but it's all surrounded about empowering others. And I truly believe that, you know, God put me here to do just that, to help affect change in a positive way for different people, whatever that looks like. Each organization, it may look a little different, but it's still from that same core. And you know, I'm just so thankful that God allowed me, you know, he chose me to allow me to be able to do that work. So it's tireless. You know, I stay tired, but it's a good tired, because you know, every time I get the phone call that somebody's getting the money that they put out for a security deposit that they shouldn't have had to because they were in an explosion, or every time I hear, you know, we were able to get a man a bed and a mattress that was sleeping on the floor. He had homeowners insurance. He had homeowners insurance, and they had him sleeping on the floor of the apartment they got him. Unacceptable. And so we were just there to fill in that gap. And so yeah, that's the trauma advocacy. I have an amazing partner, Jaconda Harrison, and we have a couple volunteers, Dondra, Katanya, and Shanika, and we have an amazing team of people that's just coming together to making things happen, and it's all volunteer work right now for us. But God.
You ladies are just fearless and amazing and talented. So, all of you spoke about the different programs and different avenues you guys have for your businesses. Can you tell the audience what some resources you need, like right now, that is a pressing need that your organization could need? Kia, you can go first.
So right now we are gearing up for our holiday extravaganza. Every year we support families for Thanksgiving and Christmas. This year with COVID, we're going to do a joint effort, and we're going to service 500 students and their families with dinners and toys. We partner with Amazon, some other local organizations who are going to help support us with toys and donations, but we're still going to need tons and tons of donations. DTLR is one of our great partners. We usually partner with Applebee's and just a couple of other local organizations who really just support our efforts. And because we've done them singularly through the years, and Thanksgiving has been one, and then Christmas has been another, and this year we're joining them together to do a holiday extravaganza. A lot of times families will have food and things for Thanksgiving. However, you know, it's that time in between that they really just don't have. So if we could provide something for them to eat, a gift for the mother, gift for dad, something for the son, something for the daughter, something for the family, to just show them that people are still out here and they're generous and they're caring and they're kind. You know, it's a big deal to be kind these days. You know, you're just not kind. You know, people who are, some people are nice, right? Right? You get nice people, but kindness is something that you just have to be born with, and not everyone is born with the kindness. So we're looking for people to help support those efforts. So that's our biggest initiative going after, that we're going after right now. One of the initiatives that we're working on, because again, we do support other organizations, and this is what my week has been about. We are in the midst of one of the biggest elections of our life, right? And so we've joined up with Black Girls Vote, and we are the distribution team to help get Party at the Mailbox out. to the Baltimore, Detroit, and Philadelphia community. So if anyone's watching, if you have not registered for your party at the mailbox, please do. My team is out. We will be out starting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. delivering boxes. So if you have not received a box or signed up to get a box, please do so. It's an amazing opportunity to get excited about voting. So that's our latest piece, again, of supporting the community, because we just need to be everywhere for everyone right now. And so we're limited in, who we are, how we can reach. But because we're doing things like this and because we're supporting one another, we reach and we connect with so many. Terri, I would love to get with you on any programs that you had. We had a program at MCIW, the women's prison in Jessup, and it was called Moms. Moms offering mutual support, and so we work with the mothers and their children and their sons in the prison, and so we work with the sons on the outside and the moms on the inside, and we connected and bridged that gap with that. That's a program that we still have connections to and with, and we would love to probably, to see how we can connected with that. You have tons and tons of programs, Knicole, which I think are absolutely amazing. So anything that we can do to help support the programs that you have, we would love to. It was so many things that you named that I was like, oh, we do that. Oh, we do that. I specialize in restorative practices and trauma-informed care. So the things that I'm looking, that we are doing as an organization is geared towards helping that 8 to 24-year-old demographic. However, it is really looking to support people who need support. So if there was any individual, one thing that we can do to help support, whether it's a mom, a dad, a child, grandma, we love supporting seniors, because there are so many different things and obstacles that they go through that you wouldn't even fathom, from, just not living on fixed incomes, and going through, the monies that they have, not having food, grandson, granddaughter coming in there, taking their food, or them just not having, it's just so many different pieces. So we would love to help you in any initiatives that you may have going on. Oh, by the way, we do have movements in Jamaica, so we definitely had to connect on that one as well. So we've done fish fries for the homeless in Jamaica, which is something that we do here annually here in Baltimore. We feed 100 homeless, and we provide them with shoes, and we partner with Applebee's and DTLR to do that, to feed them. We set up a dining room type of environment for them, because we want them to know that they are a part of the community. So whatever we can do, Christmas, holiday, extravaganza, that is what we're looking for. You guys hear Miss Onyx up there. She gets excited sometimes, so that's the barking you hear in the background.
I totally understand. So for your Christmas extravaganza, if you don't have it ready now, if you want to send, because with being the vice president of Empower Women in Business, I'm also the membership and events and fundraisers. So if you want to send us, at least when I say us, EWBI, send us like a sign up sheet for volunteers for that particular program, email that over to me later on, and I can see if some of my sisters would help with that particular fundraiser when you guys get do the dinner.
That would be awesome. Any way that you guys will want to participate. And so let me tell you what's so great about it this year is that we're not asking them to come to us. We are going to each one of those 500 students ourselves.
Nice. I love it.
So if your organization is wanting to participate in that, and you want to be, that person that goes out and do 10 deliveries and say, hey, and spread some cheer, and just the door and see the faces of these parents and these children who are just so grateful and so thankful to just be receiving, please just reach out. We would love to have you join us and be a part of that. So, we're looking forward to it. This is exciting that we get to do something this way. And unfortunately, it's because of COVID. However, we don't want to put people out any more than they've already been put out. So we want to come to them. We are obviously using all precautions. My team is definitely prepared with all their PPE and social distancing, and they are well educated in what we need to do. We have wellness teams that go out each and every day to actually connect students who have not virtually connected with Baltimore City schools as of yet. So they're all well versed. They know what they need to do, but we would love the support in that respect.
Absolutely. So again, stay tuned to the Movement Team's Facebook page, Legacy BookBar, EWBI's Facebook page, as well as AEW's Facebook page. More information about each lady's individual programs and initiatives, and hopefully after tonight, collaborations amongst the four of us going forward into the end of 2020 and then into the future. Terri, do you have any resources or programs you particularly need going forward to get some of your programs off the ground?
Well, just like Kia, I think we're focusing on the holidays right now. On a regular, outside of COVID, holidays can bring, the increase in substance abuse goes up, depression goes up. There's a lot of anxiety, and so with COVID, that just increased it by 10 times. A lot of people have lost their jobs. And even outside of women, our goal right now is to help families be able, at least for the children. Me personally, I'm not a big Christmas fan. You could give me a nice bottle of wine and I'll be happy for Christmas. But my grandson, on the other hand, he needs to have something. So I understand families have children, and there are a lot of families right now who are not in a financial place to be able to give to their kids, or even to their family in general, even Thanksgiving. And so we're just focused on trying to do the same as Kia. We want to raise, I think all of us, donations is a big part of our business. Having people to contribute and show some love and support by just giving, whether it's a canned good or a small toy from Walmart. Every little bit helps and every little bit counts. And to something small to someone else is something big to somebody else. So we just want everyone to contribute and support. So that's our main focus right now. Of course, anyone who has some skills or even jobs that they're willing to give anyone who's an ex-felon or who has a criminal background, we welcome you. There are lots of programs that will protect employers who decide to hire anyone who has a criminal background, their bonds and everything. So, we just want people to give women that are coming out of prison second chances. Someone gave me a second chance, and I want the same for everyone else. Everyone who goes to prison is not a bad person. I definitely want to collaborate with you ladies. Any donations that anyone can have, from toiletries to socks to scarves to hats to mittens, whatever you can give will be a great help to us and for the holidays. And just watch our Facebook page for things that's coming for 2021. I'm sure you'll see the three of us doing some very great things. I am so proud of you ladies. It's just great to hear that there are people out here, women, that are willing to give to those who are in need. And it's just very, very heartwarming to know that to meet you ladies and be able to collaborate with you in the future. Kia, we will definitely do business. A lot of what you do, Knicole, is similar to what we do. So we can always still collaborate. There's enough to go around for everybody. There's millions of women. Every woman has different needs. So, we don't shy away because we're in the same line of business or whatever, but we should definitely collaborate. I would love to be on the show. And I also have a talk show called Charm City Chat with Terri B that's going to be launching in 2021, where I'll be going around to some of the local business. I'm trying to wait till the COVID die down, some of the local women local owned businesses by women, so we can help promote some of the women businesses and get people on the map. We just have to support each other, and I'm a real big advocate for that. So I appreciate you ladies, and it was very, very great talking to you today.
I have the absolute best group of ladies ever on the planet. I stand by that 100%. Nicole, for you, are there any, it's probably very similar to what Kia and Terri said, but are there any resources or anything that you feel like ME or EWBI or TAG might need specifically for from the audience?
Money.
All three: money, volunteers, or let me see, money, volunteers, or some of the items that we said. And I did leave out one of our EWBI sisters is also collecting funds to bless the women of the House of Ruth with healthy sanitary napkins. So we know that sanitary napkins typically have those chemicals in it that they sell in the drugstores. She has chemical-free sanitary napkins, and we know that those chemicals inside of those napkins give us all types of things, from fibroids to heavy cycles to all kinds of health issues for us as women. So she wanted to be a blessing to the House of Ruth. She's collecting money as a fundraiser to purchase pads to send to the House of Ruth. So if anybody is interested in helping Knicole Jones, Lady J, I think she was on here. Please put your information in the back so people can see that as well. She is another one of our EWBI sisters, and doing amazing work in the community as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so you guys heard it here. Money, volunteers, they need it. They need it. And I must say, I have worked with each of these ladies individually, on a personal level, as well as a sponsor as Legacy BookBar. And I must say, the feeling that you get when you hear where your toys went for the toy drive. I know I dropped off some toys at least 2 years in a row for the movement team's toy drive. I know previously I was working with Terri with AAW, and we were making sure, I think we did a Christmas drive one year for a family. And then we were helping to outfit houses for women that came home, and making sure that they had what they needed when they came to, what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I mean? When they come home, when they can't go home, but they go halfway house. There we go. Oh. That's where I was going with it. So we made sure that they had their room or their space was for them, and we made sure they had what they needed. So it really is on a personal level, really, really amazing to see something so small as their own shampoo or their own deodorant or their own football if you're a kid, something that's for you. And, as you get older, you kind of take for granted, you can go out and purchase what you need. And then you look, on one hand, there are so many of us that cannot do that. And, they don't want to ask for help. It's a pride thing. And I can't even imagine how that would feel. But then you see that tear or that awe in their face when they didn't have to ask and it was still given to them. That is an amazing feel to have. So I tell anyone, please, please, please volunteer with all three of these amazing organizations. You will be fulfilled as a person. And why not? That little bit of kindness goes a long way to help instill and enrich that next woman. So I just tell anyone, from me to you, please reach out to these ladies. Again, after the broadcast, I will post their websites. We'll have sign-up sheets for their respective organizations. So just make sure you share, you follow all of these amazing women. So as you know, ladies, I have a signature question that I ask all of my guests on the Sip and Chat. So I think I'm going to go a little out of order, and I'm going to go with Terri. So Terri, we've talked about you being an ex-felon, your second chance in life, all of your amazing programs for and with AAW and Charm City Chat. Looking into the future, what do you want your legacy to be?
Let's see. Well, I want it to be based on character, I guess I would say. So when in reputation, when you hear Oprah Winfrey, I don't know what comes to mind for you, but I think rich, wealthy, So when someone says AAEW, I want them to feel like, this company, this organization did amazing things for women, all across the world. And regardless of who, and judging myself, who is the CEO or who else may be members, it's the actual character of the organization and reputation that supersedes anything else. So that's what I really want at this point. Ask me again in 5 more years, I might want you to say rich and wealthy like Oprah. But right now, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. I really want it to be a household name that as soon as someone thinks of their family member, a lady or woman who's suffering from substance abuse or going to prison, that's the first thing that comes to their mind. Someone talked about Marion House, which is a huge organization. That was one of the referral that comes from a lot of women in prison. It's one of the ones that they get a lot of women from the prison from. So I'm very familiar with them. I actually spoke to them when I came home and tried to see what they were doing behind closed doors. So, but those are the kind of facilities and where I want to be and what I want to be able to offer. And that's the kind of name that I want people to know when they hear it.
Oops. Thank you. Kia, same question. Looking into the future, you have the movement team, you have the sneak peek you just dropped on us earlier in the broadcast. 5 years, 10 years down the line, you've done everything up until this point that you have set out to do. What do you want your legacy to be?
So I have this thing, people who follow me on social media, I'm very positive. I never post negativity, things like that. Um, I've had rants, but I've even made those positive and made them about what they are. So I always start with beautiful, right? So good morning, beautifuls. You know, have a great day in purpose, beautifuls. Not a great day of purpose, a great day in purpose, beautifuls. Because I believe that God has a plan for all of us, and our individual plan is individually made, is patent just for us. And I believe that I'm walking in so much favor right now. So not right now, my entire life has just been filled with favor. Just some of the things that I've experienced, some of the things I've gone through, some of the things that I see, the favor that continues to be bestowed on me. It could bring me to tears just right now, just thinking about it and talking about it. And so when I think about legacy, I just want people to live in their passion. I want my legacy to be that because of who she is, who she was, I want people to look and say, I can now walk in my life. I can live my best life and I can live in my passion and I can live out my passion because of something that I said, because of something that she did, because of something that she taught me, because of something that she showed me, because of something that she revealed to me. I want that to be what people are able to do. My legacy is to walk your walk, talk your talk, live your life, sparkle in your way, that you sparkle, understand the favor that you've been given and let that favor shine through you.
Now, if I mess up my makeup because y'all have me crying, I'm not talking to y'all anymore. Just putting that out there, okay? I'm not doing it. So thank you so much, Kia, for your response. So, Knicole, you wear a million hats. Like, I know you don't sleep because you talking to me after midnight and we're both up working. So I know you don't sleep. So with TAG, with Emmy, with EWBI, with and you have some other programs we're not going to talk about today. They're coming soon. But with all of that you have, 5-10 years down the road, you look back, what do you want your legacy to be?
Well, when you asked that question, I thought of the song, May the Work I've Done Speak for Me. And I think about the messages that I get, sometimes on my birthday, sometimes on Mother's Day, from the young ladies that I've been able to help and been able to instill a different type of confidence, a different type of loving themselves. And for me to be able to be here and to be able to hear those testimonies is worth more than gold. So when I think about my legacy, I think about, of course, maybe even me when I'm not here. And I just want, whoever to pick up that ball and to keep my legacy going, to keep this work going, to know, that it's that I always teach my girls that I have a high expectation. So I don't care if it's us giving a small tea party at a school, it's going to look like the grand ballroom for the girls. So no matter what they do, to always do their best. And I just want them to pick up that ball of my legacy, whether it's one of my children or one of the children that I've adopted, all of my bonus daughters. But I want them to pick up the ball of these organizations and keep them running. And that's the best way to allow the work that I've done to speak for me.
Truly amazing and some powerful answers to the signature question. I hope everyone that has tuned in tonight has shared tonight's broadcast. The wealth of knowledge and wisdom that was in this broadcast tonight was utterly amazing. This is probably going to be my favorite episode because I hold each of you near and dear. The audience was amazing. We have some amazing responses. I have Katanya Lester praying for much abundance and success for all of your businesses. Thank you so much. Knicole Bennett Jones, our financial secretary from EWBI, she actually posted the link for her fundraiser for the Health of Roots and the Lady J pads. You can, if you want to participate in that, please feel free to go on the link. I know quite a few of us use those pads and they are amazing. So definitely get those. Ms. Dondra Harper, thank you so much for tuning in. Miss Mandy Richardson, Mom, thank you so much for hanging in there. I do so very much appreciate it. Ladies, this is why we are here. I feel like the news does not give us, especially our local news, does not give us a fair response or fair showing of what Baltimore truly is. All of us are Baltimore born and bred. And this is the type of information that should be on major news. We don't have to hear about every killing. Some of the politics, we don't even need to hear about all of that. We can make our voices heard when we go vote on November 3rd. I appreciate all of you ladies taking the time out tonight to come on the broadcast, engage with the other ladies on the panel. Thank you so much. For those that are tuning in that don't know me personally, as you know, my name is Menina, and I own an online bookstore that's called Legacy BookBar. Legacy BookBar is an online bookstore that caters to, but not exclusive to, self-published Black authors. There is a need for us in print, just like it is a need for us on movie screens. I am an avid reader. If you have seen me in my entire life, I either have a book or I have a tablet and I am reading something. If you give me 15 minutes of quiet time, even in the middle of a party, I am pulling out a book because no one is talking to me and I probably need to finish a chapter and the book was good. So with these three ladies, like I've said earlier in the broadcast, these ladies have mentored me in some form or fashion. So I knew that at some point in my life, especially before I hit 40, I was going to have my own business. What I was going to do, didn't really have a clue, but that was okay because I took my time to find what my passion really was. And each of these ladies gave their input and their advice when it was time for me to figure out what I wanted to do. And this is how Legacy BookBar came to pass. I had Terri. I actually took some of her classes. She actually helped me with my tax ID. Kia, she has helped with sponsoring and sharing different things that Legacy has done. And now going to collab together in 2020 with her movement team, and now working with Knicole with EWBI, being on her radio show when I published the story February 1st for Black History Month. I was on her radio show 2 weeks later, and being on her radio show introduced me to another author who has a very similar program in Fort Worth, Texas, and she has invited me to come to Fort Worth and speak at her convention in Fort Worth, which would have happened in June, but of course, COVID. So that's actually getting pushed to 2021. So you ladies have a small piece of my heart because you have helped in some way to get me and Legacy where we are. And I'm just, there's not enough thanks that I could give to each of you individually. So this is why I personally make sure I do my part in sharing a flyer, being a part of an organization, volunteering for something, sending books out if you need it. Like, this is what you have to pay it forward. We will not get far if we do not extend the hand. And extending the hand does not mean that you don't eat. It just means that you make sure that the next woman ate. And I want to say that because I feel like so many of us feel like if we extend the hand, it takes away. It does not. It just enriches what you already have. And the four of us all live in that mindset that when we eat, everyone eats. So thank you so much, ladies, for being a part of the Sip and Chat. Yes, Kia, start planning your book club. Girl, you know I do virtual book clubs every month. Look,
I was trying to write that to Mandy Richardson, telling her to plan her start planning hers, so she needs to get her group together so we can get that going.
The first book has to be Ember's Flame.
Look, they are middle school kids.
Okay, we're not going to give them that. So
no.
We're not going to give them that. That's for the grown-ups. That's for the Ember's Flame is for the grown-ups.
I have to check that one out there.
Yes, that's for us. That's actually, it's really good that HarperCollins, I am now Legacy BookBar is now working with, and they have actually provided a lot of young adult or teen books that hopefully will be here by November 7th. And I think say that again, someone. I'm sorry. Maybe that was just me. Okay. That some of the books that we were selected literally touch a little bit in all facets of young adult life. I have a book where two siblings don't know that they're siblings, but they find out they're siblings when their father dies in a plane crash. I have one book where a teen comes out that he's gay and he wants to live his life in drag and having to navigate life in drag. And then I have sci-fi fantasies.
All those stories, girl. Wait a minute. I'll tell you something. I'm the youngest of 7 girls. Today is a happy heavenly birthday to my dad. Today is his birthday, but I am the youngest of 7 girls, and my sisters, 5 of them, I didn't meet until I was 16 years old. So they had and I've known about them all my life, but they never knew about me. And so that's a story all in itself. So, and I'm saying that to say, because we've talked about it before, I'm in the process. I'm getting this manuscript going. So
let's get it.
BookBar can have it, but listen,
yes.
You hear about this city girl here? I'm telling you, you're gonna need your wine. You're gonna need some comfy socks. You're gonna be like, no, what? Get out.
Gabrielle Union ain't gonna have nothing on your story when you drop it. I'm actually waiting for all 3 of you to write your story so we can get it in the BookBar. I'm waiting on it. Like, let's get it. That's a book club waiting to happen. Let me tell you. So again, ladies, thank you so much. Again, for those that follow Legacy Book Bar and the Sip and Chat, you know I'm here every Friday night at 9 o'clock. Next week, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming, and I will have Malachi Bailey, author of Her, which is sci-fi fantasy. We are going to do a little something different with that because, of course, it's the night before Halloween. So, you know, we want to make sure that we talk about us spooky. And, you know, some of us like paranormal, some like sci-fi. Also, anyone that loves that genre, just know that Legacy Book Bar has shop codes still available until October 31st. So if you want to get 10% off of paranormal, sci-fi, fantasy, you can get 10% off until October 31st. And then you will see me back at White Marsh Mall starting November the 7th. And I will be there every Saturday until Christmas. So make sure you purchase all of those holiday gift sets, holiday books, because who does not want a nice good read with fuzzy slippers, a glass of wine, or hot chocolate? And again, it's COVID. So where are we going? So it's a good time to, if you want, like Knicole, she's been really good with supporting Legacy Book Bar. She said, I have to read 12 books this year. And I think she is very close to her quota. She just bought 3 books. So I think once she gets these 3 and reads them, she hit her quota before the end of the year. So if anybody else wants to do 12 books to read starting 2021, you know exactly where to go. www.legacybookbar.com. You ladies have an amazing night. My audience, I will see you back here next Friday at 9 o'clock. Good night.
Bye-bye, ladies.
Good night.